Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? Looks like, yeah, I think you can hear me. Got a new mic. How's that working out? Can you hear me? Somebody out there. Oh, you're right. We're gonna get started here in just a minute or so. Yep, all right. Russell's in the house. Russell, did you have a good, let's see, well, it's late there. How's the weather? How was London today? England. My daughter next month is going to go to Ireland with her fiance, meet his family. Yeah. It's cold here today. Man, we were down, I don't know. We must have been in, probably about, cold just like it's cold and dreary. I don't think England's dreary. Don't miss. We were really cold today. It was down, must have been 25. It was awful. So, how's that mic sound? Does that sound pretty good? It's a new one. I just got it yesterday. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. No way. Yes way. Oh. All right, let's get started on this lady's face here. Last week we were trying to. You should be on the radio. No, I don't think so. Well, actually, maybe because I have a face for radio. That's what they say. All right. So let's get started drawing this woman's face here. And last week I was showing you how to use. You could use a cube or a box, and I think we're going to just stick with a traditional method. It seemed like people were giving me some flack. They didn't like that as much, but that's okay. So let me just get this here pointed right there. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and get started on this woman's face, and maybe I won't yammer as long, and we can get right into it. So my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Saturday Night Live drawing event. We typically on this evening do. I just kind of pick up a mixed bag, and I decided to draw another portrait because I enjoy portraits, and they seem to be really popular as we walk through the process of this. I am using a iPad with using the program Procreate and a pencil, but you don't need this because I try and keep it simple. I only use one brush, and it's the 6H pencil. So the only difference is I'm using not a gray, but I make my color a little bit of a red color. So anyhow, let's get started. So I'm looking at our face here, and we always want to think of the process of our drawing as gesture, construction, or mass, and then get into details here. And so as I'm analyzing this, remember that I want to go through a process in my head. I want to think, is this face, 3 steps. Is she looking up or looking down? Am I basically is my point of view below her or above her. And in this case, we're probably just slightly above her, just slightly, not by much though. So I'm going to do an eye line or a brow line that I'm kind of, well, I'm going to do it opposite. Now, let me show you why. As soon as I put the brow line in, I am, let's get a nice bright color here. That's good. I am looking for her temples whenever I start to draw, and the top of her ear. And if I could see that, then I know that it's gonna have kind of that shape there. Okay. So that's the first thing. I want to try and determine whether the position. Am I looking up at her, down her? And it's interesting that could happen too if a person's extending their chin out just ever so slightly. The next thing I want to figure out is what direction is she looking actually. So if I look at her here, she's kind of looking out in this direction. Well, not like that. Let me redo that. She's almost looking out like this. Change the color there. All right, that's the direction. So when I want to drop that down over here. So the first thing we want to do is determine the tilt, like is she looking up, looking down, and then where along that line is her face direction. And the other thing we want to determine, and I didn't even put this down here, is the tilt. Is there a tilt of the head? In this case, she's looking straight up. All right. So let me rephrase this because I kind of got that backwards, and that's just the way sometimes we do things around here. We do them backwards because I like to make them as confusing as I possibly can for everyone. So let's start over here. So the first thing I want to do is determine like a 2D axis. All right. Is she tilting her head? Is she tilting her head this way, or is she tilting her head that way? In this case, she's almost head is straight up and down. Okay. Next, is she tilting her head up, or is she tilting her head down? All right. In this case, I've determined that she is tilting her head slightly up because the tops of her ears are below her temples. All right. So we're going to call that a tilt. And then once we have those two things determined, then we want to figure out the face position. Where is her face along that? So we've got those three. So a tilt back and forth, a tilt up and down, and then where along that axis is her face going to be? All right. All right, let's get started. One more thing before we start. I'm always looking for clues to help me with this process. And one thing I really like to incorporate into my work is curve versus straight. It creates contrast, and so contrast is, the eye loves contrast. So in this case with her, I'll just point this out. Immediately I see this straight line along the side of her head, and that's something I want to immediately put in because it's going to help the rest of this look really interesting. So you always want to be on the lookout. Is there a straight that you can use to create contrast with all the other curves? All right. So Let's start off with gesture first. And when I'm gesturing, I'm just using the I'm holding the I'm holding my pencil toward the back of it, so it's nice and loose. I'm also, even at the gesture, just so you know, I'm squinting right now. All right. All right, we got our gesture in, so let's go ahead then and start to think of construction here. So I'm going to go in with the brow line first. Getting my center line. Just trying to right now determine where some of these marks are going to go. Keeping it nice and loose. This little dot here represents her temple, so her head is going to kind of get flat on the side there. And then where her nose is, I'm just kind of roughing in, I think, where her ears are going to go. And I'm using proportion here. I'm trying to judge distances, trying to get it squared up a little bit there. Keeping it light. This circle here is the ball of the mouth. Got her chin in there. Getting a sense of where that nose is going to fall. I just put in very lightly this curve, the curve that goes over the ball of the mouth. We had a conversation today, I think it was with Chris, or a couple days ago, where I showed a demonstration of the roundness on the skull. All right. Pupils of the eye, the corners of the mouth. See, once I get this stuff in here, then it gets so much more easier to start to put detail in, because I get a sense where things will go. And I just still making subtle adjustments here. And I'm just going to get a sense of block some of her hair in here. And I'm looking at the relationship between like this and this. Where is that? And where is this? like those different proportions. Thinking of her hair as like big shape, big volume. Now, I have to, for me personally, as I'm looking at my drawing here, I've drawn the nose shape extremely flat, and as I look in the picture, I can tell right away that it's the center lines coming down over here. So I definitely want to be extremely careful when I put that into her head. And I could see the I could see that her earlobe is like connected right to the mouth, and then this her earring is coming down like this. I'm squinting now before I start going in with darker lines, just to really get a sense that I'm ready to go. All right, I'm going to come in a little bit tighter here. All right, let's have some fun. You know, when you're drawing the nose, if like anything else, if you think that you're building up form, so try not to. For me, I don't like to think of it as shape. Instead, oftentimes I'll think like, okay, if I was a sculptor, how would I form this out of clay? I like to drop my eyeballs in there. It helps for me to wrap things around. And when I'm drawing lips, I find sometimes I like to get that little, can't remember, that little V. It's the right center part there. I like to put that in, and then I'll move my pen or my pencil to the corners and then bring those in. And I don't know, that just seems to work for me. Of course, since she is looking 3/4 view, the left side of her lips are going to be a little bit longer than this other side. And usually this top lip will overlap the bottom one just a little bit. And I'll show you that very close so you can see it. It usually will come in like this. And then then it flares out like this. I'm looking at the how big the top one is comparison to the bottom one. They're almost even. And a lot of times the corners of the mouth will have a little bit of a weightiness or a shadow. So let's woo! Wow, did I blow this one? Oh, look at this. Oh, this is awful. Do you see how off this is? Let me show you. Look at this arrangement here. Look how that lines up with her nose right away. And now look how off mine is. So I am going to erase it because it looks awful. And I'm going to redraw it. Make sure that I am much better. Much better. See, those are the constantly using those lines of measurement. In this case, I was using a horizontal line to catch myself on that one. All right, let's keep going here. I can already see also her right eye is much taller or higher than the other one. And I'm looking closely at this eyelid here. It's not a perfect rainbow shape. It's off. It's almost like this. So let's get that in. And this one is coming over here. It's going to be covered by her glasses. All right, nose is coming up. Okay, I'm good there. All right, let's get this side of her head here. Again, I'm using vertical lines, horizontal lines to see, for me, I'm looking at where is this lining up? The bottom of that little, oops. And then I think they call these jowls. Of course, the older you get, the more these show up. Your skin starts to hang on your face. And as I'm doing this, making these adjustments here, as I'm drawing along, look how off my chin is. My chin is off quite a bit, but that's okay because you know, that's why we adjust things. All right. This is going to be dark in here. I'm just going to add some tone up there. And let's discuss, let's talk about this nose. Let me show you something on this nose here. I'm going to use my example down here. In fact, I will move that up a little bit. Oops. Oops. That's good. Okay, so let's look at this. I want to show you a thing to make noses look really dimensional. Once you have your nose drawn, if you just come in here with shadow underneath, like this, and then right where it starts to go around the edge there, darken that up. Darken that up. Because that bottom part of the nose is like a sphere, and as we have tone on a sphere that's shaded, you have reflective light that's usually hitting the bottom of it. So believe it or not, it's going to have a little as the shadow gets closer to the light side, there's going to be a little bit of a darker tone there. And so I use that same thing on on noses, because the underside, especially if someone's outside, you've got a lot of natural sun coming in. All right, let's keep going here. You look at that, and even now I can see that my whole mouth region is ooh, what happened? Russell, I'm so sorry. This is really can you see my mistake? This let's see. Yeah, I'm still off on my mouth there quite a bit, but you know, that happens, and I want to fix it, but I'm just going to go with it. But I'm just telling you, I'm off in my measurement. All right, let's continue on here. See, we're always always learning. Always learning. I'm gonna start thinking about this hair here and think of this as a mass. Me too. We'll have to restart this tomorrow, but still watching. Okay, sounds good. You know, another thing too is when you are drawing these things, a lot of times the more familiar you are with a face, believe it or not, it just gets easier because you're looking at it all the time. So as far as her hair goes right now, I'm just dropping in some tone and value to just try and get it. It's almost like a mountain range. So look at this little bit of hair here. This is a nice little, it's coming around like this. And then she has some tone coming in here. All right, let's get her neck in here. As I'm drawing this neck, I'm looking at this negative shape here. That's a, oops, that is a something. I could check my measurement this way, make sure that I'm in proportion there. And then let's see now. Now, where does her right shoulder come in? It's coming in way up here. And this is coming in, her other shoulder's coming in like this. And then we've got her earlobe coming here like this. And I'm looking at it. All right, it's coming together nicely. I'm just looking for tone here. Look at these curls. They're like cylinders. And then there's some almost big cylinders back here. And then we got this mass coming in here. And as I'm drawing these, I'm giving myself a lot of liberty, which totally is okay. Okay. All right, let me look around for some of these darker darks now. Where are her darker darks? Oh, you know what? I wanna get these glasses in. So I'm looking at the shape of the glass and determining how far it's coming out. And this is going to come out right about there. Oh, look at that. I'm going to do that, redo that one. It's really close to the top of her head, top of her eyes. Oops. And then it sits really low on her cheek. I want to make sure that her eyelid right over here is pretty clear. And then I'm going to start dropping in some tone for the rest of her hair. Working it slowly. Keep looking at the big picture here. Yeah, even it's oops. Even when you get the proportion off, if you can get their likeness over time, it still works. But that's why I keep hammering this idea of like really get a sense for your construction. Looking for darker spots in her hair. Okay, I'm going to, I think I'm going to drop a light tone here. Get some, I'm going to put this on a new layer. Okay. All right, let's get some tone in this here. Squint my eyes here. All I'm trying to do is determine where the lights are, light side and dark side. Oh, her entire neck. Oops. Her entire neck is in shadow. And it's sort of casting also on her short there, and then her hair on this whole side pretty much is also in shadow. And this little section here. Oh, have I drawn a subscriber? Keegan, I haven't, but I could do that. I could pull that off. All right. We'll have to do that. I like that. I like that idea, my friend. All right, so I'm squinting, and I can see that her nose is casting this shadow, and also the top of her lips. And there's a cast shadow over here on this jowl. All right, and look at this. I'm also looking right now at the. Oh, did it stop broadcasting there? It looked like it did. Let's just see what's going on here. Wow. All right. It looks like it did. All right. Well, we'll continue on here. Let's see what happened here. Let me just check this. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry about that. Well, in the replay, we'll have to upload the video. Anyways, so just continue adding the different tone here. And I also notice that her neck is still a darker tone than her sweatshirt. So we definitely want to get that in place. I'm sure I've seen that face on a post-it. Possibly. Possibly. Okay, what else can we do here? I'm squinting my eyes now, just looking at it closely. Gonna hit up a few more areas where I see some tone coming in. Putting some darker undertones under her eyes here. This actually will help that eyelid to pop off. You're always looking for ways to make some highlights pop off than others. And then, of course, she has her two straps coming over here. And my nose is going to get in the way, but that's okay. And I'm going to pop in this there, and let's hit this up too. Hit some of these, add some highlight to her glasses here maybe. And then I'm going to put this coming back here. And she probably has another one over there. All right, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We'll cut a little bit early. Any questions? Any questions there? Yeah, I'm sure you're ready to go to bed there, my friend Russell. And that's it. So, hey, thanks for watching. This was Saturday Night Live, our drawing of a face tonight. And I'm glad that you watched. Okay, we'll see you. We do have a very robust Facebook group. I will put that link into the description. Join us. Russell is a big contributor and a great participant, and we just have a good time in there. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.